This month, Taipei will host its very first Open House, a global architecture festival that was founded in London.
On November 28th and 29th, locals can tour 73 architectural gems or spaces that are usually closed to the public. Formosa News reporter Stephany Yang got a sneak peek behind the curtain.
We're currently at the Taipei Operation Control Center. It'll be one of the 73 sites available to the public during the Taipei Open House Festival.
Staff sit behind control desks, peering into large monitor displays in front of them. This is a Taipei Metro Operation Control Center, which keeps trains and commuters moving smoothly. The inner workings of this room are rarely seen, but it will be open to the public free of charge during Open House Taipei.
For people who visit, we will have 27 tours that run for 30 minutes each on November 28th and 29th. There will be dedicated tour guides. We'll show the public our viewing station. We will introduce the layout of the space and the control desks and the usual tasks conducted by the staff.
Another site in the festival is this hotel, a former mansion. It's one of 73 spaces curated by festival head Victor Wu over 20 months.
So at the very beginning, we use kind of like the building typology to decide what kind of sites we're going to open. But actually, because this is actually the first Open House Taipei event in Taiwan, so space owners are actually kind of curious about what kind of impact they will have during this event. So in the end, we decided to have kind of like a scope of introducing what really established the daily life of Taipei. So we cross like a huge, wide spectrum from private-owned housing all the way to public government-owned places.
Wu holds a master's in landscape architecture from Harvard University. Seeing the beauty of Taipei's architecture, he decided to bring the open house concept to Taiwan.
The reason why I want to bring it to Taipei is because I had the experience of working in London, and during that period, my studio was actually one of the open sites. So I actually witnessed how this event impacted the whole city, and the visitors can truly experience the amazing spaces that usually they couldn't visit. So I think Taipei has the potential to open up all the private spaces and allow visitors to come into the spaces and interact with the space owners.
During Open House Taipei, you can peek into spaces that are usually closed to the public. They include the backstage of National Theater and Concert Hall, a hotel's swanky presidential suite, and the Judicial Yuan. About half the spaces require online reservation.
We have 73 open sites in general, and for around like 40 of them, people have to book it in advance, but for other around like the rest 33 to 48 sites, people can actually just queue outside the space, and also they can, even though they didn't book in advance, they still have chance to visit the space, just queue outside.
At the sites, there will be activities and tours that allow visitors to better understand the space and the people who own it. How do you make the most of the festival? Wu has some pointers.
A lot of visitors, they ask it whether or not they can finish all 73 sites in a row, but that's not going to happen because I think in general, from my experience, it's better to have around like 3 sites from the list and also have kind of like 2 backup sites. So you can have enough time and like quality visit experience during 2 days. So for the recommended tour, I would say it actually depends on what kind of interest you have for the space. So for example, if you are more interested in historical sites, you can visit like Songyan, you can visit like Kongzong.
Open House is an annual international event, but this year, due to the pandemic, Taipei and Zurich are the only 2 cities to hold an open house event in a physical format.
I think it's also because of the pandemic, so most of the Taiwanese, they put their focus back into Taiwan. So they begin to rediscover like the real context of Taipei. So I think this is kind of like a really good opportunity for them to re-know or revisit some of the spaces that they thought they really understand.
Wu, who's financing the festival out of pocket, plans to hold Open House Taipei for at least 3 years. Next year's festival will include sites like recycling stations to let people explore the concepts of recycling and reuse. In the third year, Open House Taipei will showcase sites that reflect the pandemic's impact on life in Taipei. Formosa News, Stephany Yang, Wudong Mao in Taipei.